Going
Cool,
forward
Darren.
for the rest of this episode, there will be spoilers for both the base game of Final Fantasy VII Remake and also for Intermission. Because to talk about Intermission openly, we have to spoil it. It's end game content. It really is. And so it's designed to be played after you've played the actual base game. So if you've played Intermission, great. If you don't care, or if you've watched people's streams, you already know what happens, great. Welcome to the discussion. But just a fair little spoiler warning going forward, because we don't want to ruin stuff on you if you're waiting to actually play it. We know that the PS5 is still short in demand. This might be something you're actually waiting to get your hands on. So just fair warning. So, Intermission. First of all, what do you think of Yuffie, guys?
Spot on.
Yeah,
That
is
is
Yuffie,
again.
isn't it?
It's another one where you're just like, that's what she sounded like in my head. How did you know that?
Yeah, she is so anime.
There are certain bits though where it's just like, oh man,
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
dialogue.
Yeah.
yeah.
What's with
Well,
the
especially
chow beans, right?
What's with that?
What is with the
But
chow
the thing I noticed most about, like, I didn't enjoy playing with Yuffie as much as I did with the other party, I have to say.
Okay.
Like I thought it was fine, and I felt I was using the ninjutsu kind of materia style of things, or the magic, the most, and that's all I used, just basically assess and that, and I didn't really use anything else to get through the entire mission. So I didn't really get that much of a chance to explore with her. But one thing that came to mind was, I thought was, like, you know, when you're at the beginning, you control your shuriken to hit the crates to get stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, what if, like, going forward, like, I know we'll probably get into speculation, but just kind of quickly touch on it. If there's, like, going to be, like, this almost like Lego games type of thing, where there's going to be certain areas that if she was in your party, you could access them. So you might have
swap
to
into her to.
Well, maybe she's not there. Maybe you have to go somewhere to get her back into your party. So it encourages revisiting some of these areas to access certain points to be able to, explore new areas. And I thought, like, that could be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
Yeah, I thought as well. Her like, there's not many platforming moments in these games, but her level of platforming versus the, like, base game level of platforming was much better, much more fluid, that I was like, that'd be cool going forward.
Yeah, like, a lot of the
More of that
traversal is a lot more exciting, I think, and interesting.
I
with
found
that.
her combat to be kind of a mashup of Barrett and Tifa, which for me worked really well. Like, she was as fast as Tifa, but then she had those ranged attacks like Barrett. So I had a great fun with Yuffie, I have to say. I really enjoyed playing as her. Eric, how did you find her combat?
I thought it was really fast and fluid. I thought it was a great way to keep shape.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. That's good
I
insight.
I like I like the puzzle solving with her. I thought that goes in with the sort of traversing. Like, you have to try cross, and there's a lever over there, so you throw your star, it hits the
I thought that
it
was
comes
cool.
back, and then the yoke turns, and then you can, like, hit it again, and it opens up, like, it turns the yokes again, so you can go off to somewhere else, get a chest and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I did like all that stuff. I like the sort of what the synthesis attacks
Or synergy attacks.
Oh, synergy.
synergy attacks.
I
did
couldn't
actually
really
like
get a
that.
hand of them at all. Like,
Neither could I, but when I
Yeah.
did it, it was awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it.
yeah,
I got
they
it
were
towards
great.
the end. Towards the end, I was like, okay, now I get it. But
But, like, I mean,
throughout, I didn't quite understand it.
that would be cool to implement that with everyone else.
I
like, in
imagine
the
that's
next
going to
game.
go forward. Yeah.
I wonder if
like-
Red 13 is going to be that then, rather than a playable character.
Oh, he has to be playable.
No, he's got to be playable. I
Come
think
on.
like it's like the first thing you're going to look forward to once we finish that Nibelheim flashback is jumping straight into Red 13
Yeah, I hope so.
for a battle.
Because I
can't
imagine as well,
wait.
like with Katza as well, or Katza, or whatever way you pronounce his stupid name.
Hey, she.
Kate Shee.
Okay.
She.
Is that how it's pronounced? I don't know. Yeah, I know you. I know. We all know who you mean.
Like, that could be synergy based
Yeah.
attacks, you don't have to play as him.
Yeah, funny enough, he's the only one I don't mind not playing as.
Yeah.
But I
Not a fan
honestly,
favorite.
I honestly think that they will make all of them playable. I really do.
Well, I think they should, but I'm just like
Yeah.
I couldn't help but like going through this intermission, just constantly analyzing like what does this mean going forward, right? Like why introduce the synergy thing and not let you play as Sonon? Like what's the point of that?
Yep.
The same with the climbing things, right? What came to mind for me was that's on your way to Mount Coral or something like that, isn't it? It's like don't you have to climb the
Remember when you're climbing the train tracks?
true train tracks? Yeah. So like that's that mechanic and. So
or even when you get the, hop up from the dolphin and you're climbing up the tower to Mount Junon.
Yeah, that's there too.
Or not Mount Junon, sorry,
Or,
to just the
Junon
Harbor, right?
Yeah.
God, fuck's sake, Chris. How could you get that wrong?
A fan. But yeah, no, like the possibilities there, and also, can I just say, graphically, it's fucking gorgeous.
It's
like as soon as it opened
beautiful.
up, I was like, wow.
What's your favorite fight in that intermission?
Does the Fort Condor mini missions count?
They're great, aren't they?
They're fucking brilliant.
What a great way to like that. That's definitely like I hope they keep that going forward because that's this versions of Gwent, isn't it? It's like
that's got to be the next.
I can see this being a mobile game.
Easily.
Well, Gwent is. I think isn't Gwent a mobile game? Well, it's not.
Gwent is, but I can see this Fort Condor one being released as a mobile
100%.
game.
Like it's gonna be like in the middle at the end, right? Let's say they did play beat for beat the original. Okay, so you have the fucking meteor coming down. You have to stop it, and then you go into some random house. Hey, want to play some Fort Condor? Like that's what's gonna happen.
Or the final battle would be to defeat Sephiroth in a game of Fort Condor.
Game of Fort Condor. That's how gaming works, right? I think 100% Fort Condor is going to continue.
Yeah,
I think
that was class.
I think it is going to be all over the world, and there is going to be ranked levels, and it's going to be that ongoing mini game.
It'll be like a world championship in Fort Condor.
Yeah, like, but think about most Final Fantasies have something like that. Like Final Fantasy 9 had this card game you can play, and you could challenge people to around the world.
And
I think 8 had something similar. 10 had Blitzball.
Yeah.
So they really can continue this World Fort Condor minigame thing. That's easy to do, and it's such a good idea. And what they could do is that, like, they could have, even though it's called Fort Condor, they could have new boards that look slightly different or have different terrains or different rules.
I mean, you can actually get, you get new boards, don't you? Oh no, that's just for new abilities, isn't it? During it.
Yeah,
I like that.
I
like that you were like you collected lots of different people, and then you were able to collect like different boards that gave you like new powers. And then you use the powers to like help you or destroy your enemy. That last one against Chadley though, fucking hell! I thought I was so gonna lose.
I couldn't do it. I could not do it.
Yeah, well, I was playing it on easy because I wanted to get through it all before spoilers hit. Too. So it's different experience on easy, to be honest with you.
I was playing on easy as well, but like. Yeah, I really thought I was going to lose, and I managed to get one guy passed onto Chadley the border, and then I planted a fucking barracks, and then that's kind of how I won. Like, but we were at like it was a proper no man's land. It was just at those two bridges. It was just constant, like.
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I fucking kicked Chadley's fucking ass, you little shit. No problem. Whooped him. I whooped him. I did take it to as confirmation, pretty much. I know those side characters are there just because Yuffie can interact with them, and it doesn't cause any kind of effect going forward. But I took it as confirmation that those characters are definitely continuing into the franchise, like Roach
Chadley and
Chadley are in the sequel.
Yeah,
Happy
Turtle dude is going to be in the sequel.
Oh man, that heavy metal theme of the Happy Turtle
the Happy
jingle.
Turtle tune.
What the? This is some Devil May Cry shit.
I was actually a little disappointed though that I couldn't go to Wall Market and see the Happy Turtle that he's talking about, like the Happy Turtle of Midgar.
Oh yeah.
To actually see it. I do feel like
we were going to go to Wall Market.
There's a chapter
missing, isn't there, in between?
Yeah. There's a beginning and an end, and there's no middle.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
There even was an interesting opportunity, I thought, just afterwards. Obviously, you're not thinking it as you're playing because you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But as soon as it was over, I was like, oh man, wouldn't it have been cool if you had to like go to one of the slums that we've never seen? And it could have looked like, and they could have had a new area that we've never seen. Because there's no reason to go back to Midgar now in the story until fucking game 5 or whatever many of these there's going to be, but like
Yeah.
they don't go back to Midgar. So there would have been a great opportunity to show off a very different kind of slum sector. That maybe you'll have to go to get something that's going to help you break into Shinra. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah, or even like, even if without doing that side of stuff, but there's definitely a chapter missing where like there was the second branch of Avalanche, right? There should have been more involvement with doing missions with them because Wutai is helping them to some degree.
Yeah, and it felt weird to introduce them for such a short period.
Yeah.
And they were gone, weren't they? They were just.
But also I just think to build up a relationship with this Avalanche crew, so that when Sector 7 fell, there's more to like. I just didn't feel she built up any kind of relationship to warrant the kind of like. Obviously, it's sad, but to the extent that she was now, obviously she's sad over something else as well. But
you could say it, Adam. We're doing spoiler talks.
But it's spoilers.
It's just that, I just think that there should have been, like, she should have known a few more people so that hits harder.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, it was a bit short. They had 3 chapters that would mean, because 2 chapters feels a little, like you never really do a duo. You do a trilogy. You know what I mean? You don't do a duology.
Yeah.
Do
two
films.
You never do 2 of them.
Yeah, you only do 1 or 3.
I don't know. Hellboy. Nah, that's not the. I know. I get you. I get you. I'm with you. 100%. I do think though that the way, first of all, her performance in that end sequence, while it is fast and it is a bit quick, and you kind of just have to go along with it.
Yeah.
It is really strong. Like she's really fucking good, and seeing the place fall that time with the music,
it looks fantastic.
Looked amazing. And was stronger than in the actual game, where that's one of my complaints in the actual game, where the sector is actually falling.
It's weird. It should have been a swappy basically on how that's dealt with.
Pretty much. But I also thought it was really interesting now that basically 2 of the other party members saw the plate fall, Katsit and
Yuffie. Yeah.
It's just gonna be interesting that when they all meet, they actually, and then obviously Cloud, Barrett and Tifa were there, and also Earth was trying to stop it happen. They all will share that tragedy in common, which is an interesting thing. But that, because in the original, obviously, Yuffie and Katsu had nothing to do with that section of the game. So I do think that's kind of cool.
Spoiler.
Sorry, Katsu did. Yeah,
Katsu
I just mean that when you meet Katsu as a character, as in the puppet, it never brings that up really. You know, we know from Reeve's side, but we never hear it from Katsu. The puppet. So I thought that it's cool that Yuffie saw that at a moment that was already tragic, and the music there was really good, and the music throughout, the fucking music in these fucking games. Oh my! I was like, how did you make Yuffie's theme so fucking good?
But that entire
ridiculous.
That end, the end sequence, I suppose, of chapter 2 is like really strong. It's just like battle after battle after battle. Like I was like, oh my god, is this my Tom's ever gonna get a break?
Because I think my favorite battle was, because you did ask that and we went tangential, but
what was your favorite fight?
I think it was in there. I think it was the bit with the simulator, and then there's actually a ball that's been simulating the enemies that you have to fight, because I just thought it was really creative and cool.
It kind of looked a bit like a Denova a little bit, didn't it?
That weird big fucking monster thing. Yeah. That was probably my favorite fight. I just thought that was really cool. Yeah. What was yours?
Nero. I thought that was so fucking cool.
He's sick.
That kind of had like a psychomantasy vibe to the whole thing.
Yeah, the music was like haunting, right?
Yeah, and the way he I was actually expecting him to animate bodies and send them towards you, but I just think that's such a great introduction of that character, I guess, and I hope we get to see more of him, because it's obviously he's from Third Service, but it's kind of hard to take any character seriously from that game. But in this new, being introduced in this way, it's like now I'm excited to learn about these characters. But he just looks great. It's great.
He looks brilliant. I love the effects of like the kind of darkness that he has. Yeah. Eric, what was your favorite fight?
Was actually probably between Nero or the giant centipede robot.
Oh yeah, Gigantopede. That was cool.
Gigantopede, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
Where I
cool
would have
fight.
That was probably an
summoned
easy
some of
one,
my
wasn't it?
first.
Yeah, it was
easy, but
enjoyable though.
Yeah.
I was able to summon my first.
I
yeah,
thought
was able to
Scarlet was
summon
probably the
Ramu.
hardest one.
Scarlet was pretty tough. Summoning Ramu, fucking awesome, and actually fighting him as well. To
That's
get him
tough.
from Chadley. It was tough, but it was cool. I was like, this is great. I'm
I
enjoying
do.
the shit out
I
of
do
this.
agree though with you, Chris. When I think it was when Intermission was first announced and the first showed off gameplay and the first showed off Ramu, that we should have had Leviathan, considering Leviathan is from Wutai. And the base game should have had Ramu.
Yeah, like I suppose maybe like that wasn't planned ahead really in that way, I suppose. But if there would have been foresight there, I do think it would have been more fitting that Yuffie gets Leviathan just because of that Wutai connection. It would have been pretty cool. But it's not the end of the world. It's still cool to have all these summons. But I'm happy to see Ramu, because Ramu was always one of my favorite summons from the base game of Final Fantasy VII, the original one. So it's cool. It's cool to have him here. And it was awesome when he was brought back in Final Fantasy 15. He was so fucking cool in that. So every time I see him now, I'm like, oh wow, look how fucking cool he looks.
Yeah, I mean, like all the gods in Final Fantasy 15 were cool. It's just the summoning system in 15 wasn't good, I don't think.
No, you don't get to use it even as often as you do in 7 Remake.
Nah, she took me up until the end of the game before I summoned one thing. I was like, what the fuck is this crap? Yeah, I the first summon I had in it was Shiva. At the end of the game. I was like,
which is a scripted moment. You have to do that.
No. I mean a random summon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get you now.
Could you imagine that? Yeah, it's like I only get to summon Bahamut, which is scripted. You have to do that.
I would be interested to, like I said, like I do think there needs to be 3 chapters and more connection. But like, it seems as though this is actually fine for players who are familiar with Yuffie. But I'd love to know what new. Like, this is for new players. This is their first introduction to Yuffie. Like, how they felt. Do they get the character? Do they? It'd be interesting.
Are they really put off by her?
Yeah.
And how anime
what do they
think
of her?
It's interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, I think when people are picking up a JRPG, you're going to expect that at least. Like, it's actually quite toned down. For a JRPG.
Oh, to be honest, like, and even the base game of 7 Remake, it is refreshing how non-anime a lot of those interactions are. And even how much bad language is actually in it. I'm actually like, I don't know, some of it must have went over my head the first time, because replaying it, I'm like, did they just say that? I can't believe they said that. Holy shit. Like, Madam M at one point strings off a whole bunch of curse words. And I was like, fuck, I don't remember that. I was like, is that new? Or but I know it's not. But so it's just I kind of get it. I expect cringe, unfortunately. I don't always want it, but I expect it. And with Yuffie in particular, I quite expect it. The thing that surprised me was her emotional reaction at the end of her chapter, which is something I didn't expect from Yuffie.
No, that was very good. Very good scene.
And I was like, okay, so she's going to have those weird moments, and you just, unfortunately, that's part of that's, packet and parcel with her character. But to see that other side of her, and even to see her like on the train with Sona and be like, I'm not your sister. And she was like, don't mention my father. Like, there's moments where she's like really kind of short with people. I think seeing that go forward is going to be interesting. Like, I can't wait to see her and Barrett. I think they're going to clash.
Yeah.
I really do.
Do you think Sonon will return as something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just really liked the moment when they're on the train and he's kind of got his arms kind of around her a little bit, like to kind of protect her to some degree from all the lads on the train, and she's like, don't need protection or whatever, and then it's like mirrored again on his death.
It mirrors his death.
He actually covers her in the same manner. I thought that was really nice. But yeah,
these guys fucking know what they're doing, right?
Yeah. But I'm wondering now, like the way it ends with her saying Yuffie wants you, like she's wanting. It's like as if she's going to try and recruit people, so that she could take down Shinra. I'm wondering, are they going to then have that she steals the materia at all, or is she actually just going to try and recruit Cloud to her crew or something like that? I'd be interested to see how they do that interaction.
Yeah, I would as well. I it seems like their interaction will be different to the original.
Yeah.
Because it would have been pretty fun to fight her, actually. I think that would be, because in the original you do fight her before you have any talk.
Well, it might still play out like usual, but her interaction, her dialogue might be now after the fight might be her wanting to recruit them or something, or
yeah, like it could be a thing of like she tests you to see how strong you are, and then she's like, okay, you could join me on my mission. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, because she's the youngest of them.
It's like, yeah,
she's only 16.
I'll take you.
Yeah, you could come with me. It would be funny if at points, because in that final credit scene, which like holy shit, but Barrett talks about how he's the leader. It'd be really funny if he keeps saying how he's the leader and Yuffie talks about how she's the leader.
Yeah.
I see the two of them clashing,
but in like a kind of cute way, maybe.
Yeah, well, in a funny way. And then I see when Sid finally comes onto the scene, it's going to be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's going to be so fucking funny. I hope. Sid is going to be an interesting character when they get to him. Like
he's a big
he is messed
bastard.
He is. And I hope they lean into that. I hope they make him really like, you're like, I don't know if I like this guy. Like, he's a bit of a fucking arsehole.
Yeah.
But also complicated.
But let's talk about that ending now. Looks like.
Well, it actually ended. It ended where we expected it to end, didn't it? Like, or at least it reassured where the next part's going to begin.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely starting with that Nibelheim flashback, and then we're in Cam, and we're moving on.
We're not. Well, hold on. We're not definitely starting the Nibelheim flashback.
We are definitely starting with.
We're definitely starting in Cam, and I liked all their talking and everything.
Definitely. I mean, the opening is.
The opening is the Nibelheim flashback.
No, opening is going to be in the truck
Cam,
with Sephiroth. Right?
Yeah,
and it's because you're really low powered. It's a great way to have a tutorial, start you off again, straight into.
Do you know what?
What?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
The menu is going to be raining, the back of the truck, Cloud sitting there with Sephiroth opposite him, and then you hit new game and it just launches straight into it. Yeah. That's going to be the fucking menu. Yeah. It's going to be sick.
This are sick. I did like the interactions between all of them when they were roaming around the road, and I liked actually the detail in the chocobo that Yuffie was riding on and everything.
So I thought some of the stuff in that was a little unnecessary, but I get it. They're trying to like build banter with the party as they move on and stuff.
Yeah.
The rain on their clothes looked fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The characters look incredible. Like there's a close up on Barrett, and it's like, holy shit, he looks good, doesn't he? Amazing.
Well, I mean that was CGI, but it's still pretty good CGI.
I don't think so. I think that's game engine.
I think that's just the PS5's fucking beautiful. Like they're just saying, let's show you these guys again. This is what's coming. Like this is that's
what their current engine is looking like. I think. Yeah.
It's just sick.
Anyway, pretty. I like it. Fucking they had the chocobo farmer guy in it, and I was like, it's a chocobo farm.
That's exactly what he looks like.
Yeah, that's what he sounded like. That's how I imagined. How do they know that?
Yeah,
I love this game so much.
That was actually quite nice. I actually quite liked meeting him because it's like now you don't really need to go there. Like
you do. But at least he's going to be a familiar face.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be like, oh, you guys, or whatever, and they're going to get to talk to him, and they need a chocobo to get past that. So I can't wait to see the Midgar Zola.
He'll give you a task where you have to go try and catch a chocobo, and it's going to be fun. And then...
there's going to be that bonus content and stuff. Yeah. And even like, I imagine, right, you'll do your Nibelheim flashback. You'll wake up in Cam. You can go get some supplies around Cam. You can play Fort Condor in the inn against somebody before you hit the road. You know what I mean? Then you hit the road. Your first big battle is with Yuffie. You know, like this is the shit that kind of like I feel like they're laying it out this way.
You think I don't think Yuffie will be there. She'll be on the other side.
Do you think they'll do that?
Yeah, once you get through the Mithril Mines, you meet up with Yuffie. And
yeah, you know what? They'll spend a bit of time with you getting used to Red's gameplay before they bring Yuffie into the party next. Yeah. Then they'll split you into 2 parties of 3.
2 separate missions?
Yeah.
Oh shit, man.
Because way everyone's getting an equal amount of time. Everyone's leveling up at the same time, and also they're covering more ground. They can do more stuff.
Yeah.
You make Tifa one leader, and you make Cloud the other. Like that's what I think. Because Aerith needs to spend a lot of time at Cloud.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean?
so we can all cry again and be all like, stop telling us not to fall in love with you. It makes us easily do it more.
Eric, you've a lot to learn. Well, actually, speaking of love, Zack is now 100% alive and does not die later in the fucking rain.
I don't know.
He's alive in his own little timeline or something,
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
How do you know?
Right there.
Fucking did it.
What? All right. What do you make of it, Adam? I'd love to hear this. It's Kojima. It's Kojima.
Well,
it could be.
I was like, right. Obviously, when you see Zack, it's like, what the hell is going on? And then he's like, pondering about like what's he gonna say to Aerith, and he opens the door, and everyone's in the church, and it's like, what the fuck is happening here? And it looks like he sees someone and then says Aerith.
I thought he was just looking, and he was just Aerith, like wondering where is she? What's going on here?
Maybe. I think like could be either of those two things, but his look is almost as though he sees someone. But behind him, when he opens that church door, behind him
is a blue box.
It's completely white.
Yeah.
Completely white.
Very bright. It's very bright.
Very bright, kind of the way it's shining past him is really, really white.
Very sunny, like,
No, not sunny, like actual white. And in Advent Children, that's an image we see a lot of Zack being dead, but somewhat having some form of interaction with Cloud from some form of afterlife. He's in that church with Aerith, and that white light is behind him. I do think he's dead. I don't think this is a separate.
You still think he's dead?
I don't think this is a separate timeline at all. I think this is actually Zack's journey
through the afterlife,
and how he ends up having. I think he is going to be able to interact from there at certain points. I think he could become a summon.
Whoa!
Oh, he's gonna become the first knight of the round.
Oh! That's fucking badass. Okay, Eric.
Or it's a separate timeline thing. I don't know. I just don't buy the separate timeline thing.
Eric, I want to hear yours.
I think it's separate timeline. I think Aerith is either dead or a lot older, and somehow she has aged really quickly, and that's why he's like, Aerith, like you look like Aerith, but you're very old. How did that happen? And some like weird Dorian Gray shit.
Or she's a child.
Oh, she never aged at all.
Because there's a lot of children in there.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, what the fuck?
And they're all they're crying, right? Something's happening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think Aerith is dead.
And, obviously Sector 7's not fucking destroyed.
Yes.
It's above it.
Yeah.
So unless this is like...
So it's not the plate.
Yeah, so it's like, this could be a resetting part of the remake. Is that it's a younger Aerith.
Well, now this is the Sector 5 slums, but timeline-wise, Sector 7 plate hasn't fallen yet. We would assume.
But you can see it, right? You can see the plate. What way is
I didn't see it that closely. Sorry.
Oh,
like above it, no?
Well, it wouldn't be above Sector 5.
No, but like in the distance, like you can see all the like.
Yeah,
which way does it go? Does it go 5, 6, 7 or 5, 6, 7? Like which way does it go?
I think it's the second one. If you're listening to audio, you have no hope of knowing what we just said.
Yeah. Where on the pizza is the 7?
I think that
go on.
She, I don't know, is dead, and that's what he's staring at. He's staring at her corpse, maybe lying on the altar, or people are bringing her out or something for the sermon, like in a coffin. And that's what he's staring, and that's what he's saying.
And that's why the kids are crying, right? Because she had a great relationship with him.
Oh, they're not kids, are they?
That's why everyone's
crying.
crying.
Yeah,
she dead, and it's now this point of like, if Aerith is to live, Zack must die. But if Zack is to live, Aerith would die.
I I'm also of the opinion that Zack is alive in his own separate timeline. Aerith is dead. She's either dead or she's gone. She's gone somewhere, and he goes looking for her. Either way, I think Zack's journey continues, and eventually there's a convergence. I do think eventually Zack will come into the timeline of.
Oh my god, it'd be
party.
like an older Joel, like Cloud, like fucking Zack, and he's gonna have like a beard and shit.
No,
in his hair.
no. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. I think he's gonna look just as pretty as he does now because that's what everyone wants, and I think he's gonna fight Sephiroth with Cloud. I think eventually, I wouldn't be surprised if when Cloud gets kind of defeated, and he goes down into the live stream and he has to like find himself or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a thing where like the Buster Sword gets destroyed.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he has to find himself and realize who he is. And in the end, in like the final fight, Zack is there with the Buster Sword. But Cloud in the final game actually has to have the fucking sword from Advent Children. You have to like get those swords, and if you get them all, they turn into the big fucking, what's it called, the Forger Blade or something like that. And it's like he has to make his own sword because he has to be himself now.
Yeah.
And he becomes Advent Children Cloud by the end of this. And him and Zack side by side take on and kill Sephiroth finally. That's where I think they're going with this.
Or it's gonna be like this badass cutscene where it's like there's like no hope and shit, and like Cloud's Buster Sword is shattered into pieces, and he just can't. So he's about to do like fucking his Omni Slash or whatever, right? And he's got all these like all the other swords. Similar to the Advent Children style Omni Slash, but the last slash is Zack throwing the Buster Sword and he catches it midair.
Fuck yeah, man! It's gonna be epic. Whatever they're leading up to, right?
Yeah, I mean the end of Remake was epic as hell. Like,
it was epic as hell. They have to go bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
I do think. I did say it to Adam earlier. I think that the inclusion of Deep Ground at all, without them getting like killed off in Intermission, means that they could possibly be villains hunting you in part 2. Shinra might release them going forward. Because in this, it wasn't a thing like they were keeping him a secret. Scarlet actually lets Nero out to kill Yuffie. So it makes sense to me that they might go, right. And they could be like different bosses you fight along the way and kill, and maybe do kill, because it's like now they're expendable. We're not leading up to Dirge of Cerberus. That's not what we're leading up to.
Yeah. I think
we can do this.
It's interesting.
I think there's 5 of them all together. The bosses.
Oh yeah, from Deep Ground.
Yeah. So definitely like if they are gonna be hunting you down, it's plenty of bosses.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I think they could easily do that because the role of the Turks changes as the games go on as well. Like they become way less of a villain and kind of like their alliances kind of change. And as you're looking for Sephiroth, you kind of need something else, especially if the games are going to have final bosses at certain stop points, and at any point this is a good opportunity. Like Vice could easily be a final boss. Do you know what I mean? Like it could be. So they could do something like that. So that could be interesting.
If the story is to split into 2, right, you could actually have it that one story is fighting Deep Ground while the other one is hunting Sephiroth.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like if the party splits in 2, and
it's mental how like, because we're like here thinking how are they going to cover everything, and here they are adding more.
Right. Yeah. You're like, what? But I think what they're doing as well, though, is like, in some ways, it's clever. If you know that to do this and to do it justice, to blow this world up really big, right, and make it a real living world, means you have to stop the game at points that maybe in the story are not good points to stop. So now you need an element that at any point you could have a climax. Like I was saying to Adam earlier that I feel like if they start in Nibelheim in the next game with a flashback, that they should also end in Nibelheim. Maybe that's too much. I don't know.
I just can't see how you're going to cover all that.
When they first get to Nibelheim, right? Like literally to get Vincent, which means Vincent won't be playable. So I'm trying to say until the next part or whatever. So much like the Red 13 thing. But I feel like when he gets there, that's a good point to have a big twist. The game starts with Nibelheim burning down. Mm-hmm. The game ends with him realizing it's not burnt down, and now he's actually doubting his own memories. And you could throw Vice in as a final fight, especially if you get Vincent. They're doing that.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to think like this. So, like, I mean, I suppose in the first continent, you don't have to spend too long in Junon Harbor, I guess, and you don't have to do Fort Condor, so that's that out.
No.
So it's the Chocobo thing. Mithril Mines, quite. Is that what it's called? Mithril Mines?
Yeah,
No.
but that's a dungeon. That's not like an open world either, is it?
No, it's not.
That's-
But it's still, I can imagine it taking quite a bit.
No, but that would be the equivalent
chapter,
of
right?
It'd be the chapter. It'd be the going underneath the plate or the train tracks or the whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But then once they get over to the other side, it's Costa del Sol. Then they're going to. Is Coral after that?
Coral, the Gold Saucer, and then Nibelheim.
Yeah, that's quite a chunk.
It is quite a chunk.
quite
but I feel like
Considering last time
you can't end it at the Gold Saucer.
Well, last time when we were having this conversation, we thought it was going to end on the ship, going from Junon.
Yeah, but it could. But also, that's not enough there. That's not enough of a game.
Well, it could be, considering how massive they made Midgar alone. So
yeah, depending on the content they throw in, it could be.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It would be nice. I'd love to get to Nibelheim. That would be amazing. Because I'd love to see the Gold Saucer.
I would love to have the whole game in just like one game.
See, I think as well they will be in the next game almost not in a rush, but I do think they'll want you to get to the Gold Saucer because I'm thinking, what's their next wall market?
But they could do anything with Junon. They could have Junon to be an explorable place. You see, they could have all kinds of shit.
It could be huge.
Well, there is a gambling area in there. I remember one time I was exploring Junon, and I was playing on the PS1. Well, not PS1. I was playing PS1 version on PS4. They have the Turks were in there gambling. And I was dressed as a shitter soldier, so they recognized me. But yeah, so there is plenty of stuff they can put in there.
There is. There's going to be a whole mission out of just getting your uniform, right? Like that's going to be a bigger thing.
The whole chapter.
Maybe. They might skip it.
Overall, then, what did you think of Intermission before we wrap this up?
I really liked it. For me, the end made it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was surprising how, like, with that ending, that's quite an important ending, which kind of indicates that this isn't just like a side quest. It's like you probably need to play this in order to play the next part.
Yeah.
But overall, like, I wasn't like in love with this as much as I was with the 7 remake. Like, I had less kind of wow moments. I think Nero was really the only bit where I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Okay.
So I was even asked, like, is it worth getting, or should I wait till it goes on sale? And I was like, I actually think possibly you could wait for this to go down in price.
Okay. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. I do wish it was longer, or that there was more, like just another chapter. I do feel like there's a middle chunk missing. I don't know how much of a complaint that is to say I want more. So it was the opposite of I want this to be over. It was I want to play more of this, which is great. And I cannot wait for part 2 of this remake. I'm itching for it. Like anything they could give me, I would take it. So I really enjoyed it, and that ending was a nice surprise that I wasn't expecting at all.
It was nice.
And I will say, in terms of the Yuffie part of it, so that the ending was obviously the standout in a way, because it just opened your mind to like even more shit going forward. But the standout for me was, and this is not going to be for everyone, but Yuffie at one point to like say, okay, you got this, girl, you don't need to be scared. And she does a little thing, right? Which is what she used to do in the original game the whole time.
Yeah.
She used to go around going, and I was like, the fact that they worked that in and it seemed so natural. It's like, I fucking love this shit. I was like, that's so good. I can't believe that she just did that and it wasn't weird. That was the least weird thing about her character. Like, she did lots of weird shit, but just that little like was fucking brilliant. I loved it.
For those who are listening, what he's referring to is that Yuffie sometimes punches the air.
It just does like a little noise. You see, in the original game, I always thought that was her way of saying "I'll fuck you up," but in this, they use that as her way of like, it's
pumping
like you don't need to be scared, pumping herself
Yeah.
up. And I just thought it was a great character moment. And they played on the fact that she has vertigo. She actually has a fear of heights and motion. She gets motion sickness, which is a big thing of her character in the original. So all those little details that they're focusing on just really worked for me.
Oh yeah,
she
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
they know these characters.
100% confident in all the next parts being really great games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we'd love to hear from other people. So if you've played Intermission, if you've watched it being streamed, and even if you've just played the base game of Final Fantasy VII Remake for the first time with Intergrade or whatever, do get in touch. Let us know all your thoughts on it. What you think of Yuffie, what you think of all the combat. Do you have any theories going forward? And do you have any theories about what you've seen so far with the remake? Because I love that shit. We all love that shit. We'd love to hear more about that.